okay, so you're saying that even though somebody's in Mexico, because I'm in the States, if I create a website for pocket knives, which appears to have a high interest in Mexico,
Yeah, it's still going to show
they
up
will, if they search for pocket knives, how do they not just get Mexican websites?
because Google indexes all over the place. So it's all indexed based upon the quality of the site, and most websites, right? So most parts of the world. So like if you make a .com, which is American appendage for websites, right? Um, your .com is going to be good enough. It's a universal site available all across the world, right? Um,
So let's say this. I know a couple of people from years ago who used to travel to Ecuador.
okay,
They had an Ecuadorian, excuse me, they had an Ecuadorian website,
okay,
but it was something like Ecuador dot something. It was like their product dot Ecuador dot
right.
net or something. So what if I get to advance to the point where I want to have an actual website in Mexico? Well, a website that
Hosted in
Mexican
Mexico,
that was hosted in Mexico.
right? You just
Is there a site that I could go to that would show me how to create that for Mexicans to see it?
yeah, I mean, it's the same process of creating a site for here. You just set it up so it translates it to like Google will translate your site to Spanish, right? To get like full functionality, you're a native Spanish speaker. You're a pretty good Spanish speaker, so your Spanish is going to be different. So you can translate it yourself,
Right.
right?
Right. That wouldn't be a problem.
It would be a problem. So I think the Mexican appendage is .mx. Let's see.
That's what I want to say. It's .mex or .mx.
I think so. I think it's .mex.
You typed in Mexican website appendage.
Yeah, let's see. Yep. Top websites in Mexico. That is, yeah, it's .mx. But look, see?
I can't tell what you're looking at.
Top websites ranking. Number one is google.com.mx. Number two, facebook.com, youtube.com, google.com, xvideos.com, porn sites. Like Wikipedia, it's still the same thing.
What's that? MercadoLibre.com. Look at that.
Yeah. So .coms go everywhere. So, if your site...
So they're actually typing, that means that even people in Mexico are typing in pocket knives.
Right.
And and they would possibly, if I have good SEO,
Yeah.
if I have good SEO, my website will pop up in Mexico.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. .coms are universal.
So I could have a site that's written in Spanish and English.
Or
I could have a page, one site.
You could just take one site, write it in English, right? Google will translate. You ever go to a website that's another language, Google offers to translate it for you?
Yeah.
Exact same concept.
Oh, they translate it.
Yeah.
I didn't think to do that.
Yeah, Google does that, and then based upon.
Oh, they automatically do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
There was a time back in the day, I don't know if you remember, where you had to request a change.
Right.
So now that it just automatically changes it based on the person typing it in.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think. What's that? Yeah. You don't get enough of looking at that shit. It ain't gonna make you mad. Okay. Okay.
It does make me mad though.
I'm certain. I'm certain. So, okay, this is a blog I go to all the time. We used to. It's a music blog, right? It was originally written in, I think it was originally written in Belgium, some shit like French, right? And every time I go to the site, Google would ask me if I want to translate it, and it would. I think now it has an automatic setting that the site translates based upon where it's being pulled up.
Okay.
And websites can do that. So I just want to show you that, like you don't have to worry about the whole translate. That's just a music site that would download music from. Yeah, so.
Okay, so let's test it out. Let's say, oh yes, if I were to type in resorts in Mexico.
Okay.
That's gonna appeal to Americans. It's gonna give us English automatically. I want a site that's in Mexico that I know Mexican folks are going to go look at.
Right.
Rosary beads in Oaxaca.
Right. Let's pull up Univision.
It's already bilingual.
Mm-hmm. See?
Oh, do you want to translate this page?
Yeah.
So it's written in Spanish.
Yes.
So if you say no, it's just gonna pull it up.
See, look, all of these, right? Check this out. So, Univision. Okay, perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Univision.com.
Univision.com.
And his Univision.mx is a totally different company.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
By aviation.
Yeah. So
Univision.com is the television
network.
Okay.
And that's in Spanish. So let me show what happens. You go here. It should pop up to ask you if you want to translate it, or actually it should be built into the site. No, in Univision.
Man, it would have been good for me to have had this taping while you were searching.
Or right click, translate to English.
Translate to English. I need to remember that.
The web is universal, man.
It's so amazing.
The web is universal.
So I could sell to anybody.
Yes.
And then the only biggest issue would be
shipping.
Shipping. So the advertisement and the website would have to say it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to ship.
Right.
They're based on what they're willing to pay for. Or you could create do a drop shipping thing. That's what companies do.
You could do FBA.
Like Amazon.
Yeah, do FBA.
But if you don't want to do Amazon,
yeah.
like when you get really advanced and you don't want to pay a third of your profits to Amazon,
right.
You could do drop shipping from
wherever.
A company in Mexico.
A company in Mexico or
here.
Someplace in Texas.
And get it done cheaper.
Yep.
Just look what organization. Oh,
cheaper and quicker.
Endless ideas.
Yeah, so many
You
different
can literally sell all over the world.
Yes.
And not have to work your regular job.
Right. Yes.
It's a matter of getting organized and figuring out what product is popular and buying a number of those items and selling them consistently.
Right. Yep. Damn. What's that? Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. Just read that headline, like, ooh.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's essentially you're going to have, like, the web's universal. You only need to make one website. Mm-hmm. Like these people, like Bastion sold gear here, in Russia, right? They didn't have multiple websites; just had one.
Right.
So you just need one website, one solid website.
So Bastion just had, oh yeah, that's a good thing. They sold gear here and where else?
Here, Russia,
United States, Russia,
and Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
They were shipping items to Mexico and Russia.
Yeah.
Tell me how they did it. Did they do it from their own facility?
They did it from their own facility.
They had their own drop shipping.
Yeah, they did it from their own facility. But the thing is, what you're selling when you start selling stuff like this, EDC gear, this stuff is so small. So, like, I'm not exaggerating. Their storage facility for their warehouse was about maybe twice the size of your garage. Wow. That's it. Just a bunch of shelving. Because they're selling wallets, right? So the wallets are like, it's a wallet. And the biggest knife was like maybe that big. Like knuckle, what you call those things? Brass knuckles. Those are small. So you can store hundreds of those in a little bin. So and the shipping is light. It's a small, light item you can ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me something about how they their products were made by Alibaba or by manufacturers in China. Probably through Alibaba.
Yeah.
And so would they order a certain number of those items and have them shipped to their house, or would they do like an order based on someone making a specialty inquiry? Because when you're dealing with people who are starting off for the first time, unless people want to use credit, a lot of folks don't want to pay $5,000 for the first product. So what's the various ways to do that?
So you want to do your small order first. Everybody I've seen who's done this, it's logical to me, it makes sense. You start out, save enough loot to get a decent sized run, small initial run to start. Get that small run going, sell out, flip those profits, and buy a larger run. And then that way you just want to keep, because that way you want to find a niche that's scalable. In that way you in buying products in incremental volumes, you learn how to control and visualize and map your profit margins.
Right.
So yeah, you want to have that so you can just look at it. So instead, don't go out and buy like $10,000 or 10,000 pieces of a product, and you don't know how to sell 100 of them yet.
Right.
So, yeah, generally you want to start with like 50 or 100 units. Flip that up next
And
order.
let me stop you there. So when you flip that 50 units, let's say, let me just as a random example. So say we have 50 units. I go to Alibaba or wherever I go to for my product. Each one wholesale costs me $1 each. It's $50. I go sell my product for $5.
Right.
Right. So at this point, I've made my 50 back. Plus, I have 50 times 4. I got like 200 bucks left over.
Right.
You can still take that. So you could be really conservative about it and just keep selling 50, and then keep pocketing the profit.
Right.
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 Or you could upscale a little bit
To the next second order be 100.
and then I see, and then take that money,
Right.
and eventually you have enough the old-fashioned way to buy a larger order once you see where people are buying your products.
And it's real-time market research. It allows you to, in addition to being conservative and saving and not going in blind, it also allows you to, gives you an opportunity to see and experiment with market trends without risking a huge amount of loss. So using your example, let's say you're selling some type of like cashmere socks that cost you $2 a pair, and you're selling them for $8 a pair or $10 a pair. That's an $8 profit, right?
Right.
So you spend $100 on that first batch, get your 50 pair of socks. This shit sells out. You got a hunk of change of profit that's sitting in your pocket. You can reinvest all of that, or you can reinvest any portion of that. To just give yourself an opportunity to learn the marketplace without risking everything.
Without risking everything.
Yeah.
And so, and that also, that's it's a little bit of money on the front end if you buy your product ahead of time. I've also seen websites where people say, let's say they're selling a brand new gourmet blender. This is how I know people are making this stuff on the fly sometimes, because they'll say in their advertisement, they'll still say 3 to 4 weeks to delivery.
Right.
That means they don't even have that.
They have it on stock, right?
Don't even have it in stock anymore.
Right.
Right. They're waiting to see how many orders come in before they even order it.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
But in order to tell Kenya Anderson, hey Kenya, you're gonna get yours in 3 to 4 weeks, they're banking on the fact that at least 50 other people, or whatever their minimum order has to be, are going to order that product before they even order it from their manufacturer.
Right.
And they can turn it around in enough time
Right.
for it to come. So it might be a 2-week period where you're hoping orders come in.
Right.
Doesn't that seem kind of risky, or is that risky?
It depends what the product is and how you're selling it. So it is risky, but
Because what if you don't get the minimum order people?
generally speaking, right, those people, in my opinion, if they're doing that type of drop shipping, right, they probably already have established a relationship with the manufacturer where they know how long it takes to get just 3 or 4 of the products into them. So what they're probably doing is they have a relationship with the manufacturer both as a reseller and a wholesaler, retailer and a wholesaler. So meaning they've probably called them and be like, hey, listen, I'm doing XYZ. I may order like 1, 2, 3 at a time. Will that be a problem? And the manufacturer saying, no, that won't be a problem. So they're selling the product online at enough of a price point where they're still turning a profit, even if they're buying 1 or 2 of them.
So they're selling, okay, that makes sense. But that means, though, if they only are going to get 4 orders, if they only get 4 orders in, they won't get as much profit as if, because they're ordering 4, as if they would get if they were ordering 50.
Right, but they're still getting
some profit, and they work that profit margin into that scenario.
Right. Think about it like this: like if you go to like any fish market or any farmer's market, the farmer's market or fish market, like they could sell you like a pound of shrimp at $7 a pound.
Right.
Right. But once you get to a certain amount of pounds that you buy, that cost per pound drops like crazy. So you could go get a pound of shrimp for $7 a pound, or you could go get 200 pounds of shrimp at like $3 a pound. Same concept. So yes, they will sell to individual people, but they will also sell to retailers.
Right.
And then once you become a retailer, they give you a better price because they're moving multiple units in bulk. So the people who are doing that type of drop shipping online probably have established a relationship up front with those guys.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Tell me about. I'm gonna give you breakfast because I know you're hungry.
Okay.
And I'm taking all your information.
And I got to drive and all.
I know. Let me make sure, because I know my audience wants to hear all these great details. Don't worry, everybody. I'm gonna have Kareem back, and we're gonna have him. This is Kareem Ruth from Kareem. Introduce yourself and your business.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Kareem Ruth from soultreemedia. I do digital marketing, SEO, pay-per-click marketing, and copywriting. I've been in the business for about a decade now, which is amazing because time really flies. I started out doing some consulting work with Google, believe it or not, with helping test some of the Google Hummingbird updates way back in the day, and doing some work with Google Maps. So I kind of learned to see some of the back end of how the internet works, which has given me quite a leg up on the digital marketing world. And yeah, I'm here to share all the information that I can and help Kenya and help her listeners grow and develop and try to, become successful business people, or at least internet monkeys, as I call myself, an internet monkey.
Thank you. And everyone, I'm going to have Kareem's information and a link to his website in my description box. You will be hearing a lot more from Kareem. He's one of the, in my opinion, one of the best minds in the world. He's very underrated. When you start talking to this man, you realize how much you'll never know. He's one of those people that will forget more than you'll ever read. So I'm picking his brain.
Thank you, man.
I'm picking his brain because I promised you all a tutorial, and I'm going to get this to you. So that when we do another tutorial, we'll also have Kareem in a couple of tutorials where we are going to share our Hangout screens. And I'm gonna do Google Trends with you all next. After this is just a little conversation to get you warmed up, and I'm gonna do a Google Trends tutorial with you all. But it will be really good to have Kareem there and have him have our Hangouts on and have our screens recording, so you could actually see everything in real time while he's doing it. Because I consider him the professional. I'm just like I'm small peanuts. I admit that, but I've learned a lot. So, is that all we got for this? I know you're hungry. All right, you all. I owe him breakfast. So, I will talk to you soon, and stay on. I'm going to give you some funky music to listen to for a couple of minutes. And then the next part of this video is going to be the Google Trends tutorial. So, again, like I told you in my previous videos, get an idea for what product you may want to sell. Okay?
Cool.
Bye.
All right, y'all be safe.